Hey, welcome to the Publish, Promote, Profit podcast with me, Rob Kosberg. Every week, I interview thought leaders and experts who have used a book to grow their income and their impact. So tune in weekly for these interviews so you can learn how to use your own best-selling book and go from hunting for clients and opportunities to instead being the hunted. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. Rob Kosberg here. Got a great guest today, someone I think you're going to learn a lot from for our Publish, Promote, Profit podcast, a personal friend and somebody that I've learned from, and I'm looking forward to asking some more questions to learn even more about what he does. But Matt McWilliams helps online business owners and brands, small and large, to leverage the power of partners to grow their businesses. He teaches how to make money as an affiliate and how to work better with affiliates because you want to keep them. He's been fortunate enough to spend the last decade plus, which you can see by the gray hairs on the side of his head if you're watching this on video, that he has been doing this for a long time. And he's gotten to work with some amazing people, mutual friends of ours. He's worked with companies like Shutterfly, Ray Edwards, Brian Tracy, Lewis Howes, many, many other people. And so I think you're really going to learn a lot from this conversation. Matt, thanks for being on the podcast, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rob.
You know, Matt, just before we started recording, we were talking about a mutual friend of ours, Pedro Adeo. You helped to manage the affiliates for his launch. He did some amazing things. Pedro, of course, and in fact, I need to have Pedro on the podcast. I'm going to reach out to him about that. But Pedro has become the challenge guy and has been teaching thousands and tens of thousands of people how to run a challenge model. But you were really pivotal in helping his, affiliates do amazing things. Talk through maybe some of the basics that people don't understand about using affiliates to grow your business. And then maybe we can even dive into some of the specifics and some of the cool things that you are now doing that you've done with Pedro and others.
Yeah, at its core, like I jokingly say, like affiliate marketing at its core has been around since the dawn of time.
Right.
I have this visual picture. In fact, in my book, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, there's an image that we created that shows like these three Romans sitting around in togas. And, the one, because I just talked kind of explaining the technology behind affiliate marketing with cookies, that's the tracking on. We all know what cookies are now because we've learned about like,
chocolate cybersecurity, my favorite,
and all that. And like, so, the one Roman saying to the other, so wait, if I make you sales, you give me cookies. Is that right? And the other says, yeah, but like the concept's been around. Like, one Roman introduced another Roman to a deli, and the deli owner's like, hey, I'm, free sandwiches for you for a week. That was his form of payment. And really all we did, I don't know, 25 years ago or so, when affiliate marketing kind of came to be what it is today, we just added technology to it. That's all we did. The basic concept builds on the basic structure of Business 101, which is it's all about relationships. It's all about referring people to products and services that will benefit them. So if you are an affiliate, if you have a platform and there are gaps in your product offerings, you'd be the first to admit, Rob, like you're the book guy. Yeah. You know how to write a book, publish a book, and market a book. How about building an email list? You would be the first to say, you're not the leading expert in the world.
Email list guy.
Yeah. Oh, but what if I want to run a challenge to build my email list? Well, we just talked about Pedro. So you're going to refer them to Pedro Adeo. And on the back end of your book, are you the membership guy? No, that's Stu McLaren, right? What about finding affiliates for your book? That's not your thing. I've run, a dozen affiliate launches with books for some awesome people. So who are you going to send them to? You're going to send them to Matt McWilliams and so on and so forth. So for you as an affiliate, it's your way of serving your audience by filling in those offerings, the gaps in your offerings. Yeah. And then from the other side, it's a way of simply getting more eyeballs on your products, your services, your lead magnets, your entry points and things like that. And that applies to books, as well. When I look back to the very first affiliate book launch I ran, I want to say it was back in 2015, and it was with Jeff Goins, The Art of Work. And he asked me for help, and he said, well, how many books am I need to tell my publisher how many books I'm going to sell. I said, tell him 15,000. He's like, I can't tell them 15,000. My last book sold 3,000, Matt. I'm like, you don't understand what we do. Like, not just what we do and that we're really good at it, but you don't understand what happens when you have hundreds and hundreds of people all sending emails and social media messages at the same time about your book. It is a movement. He's like, okay, I'll tell him 15,000. we did 22,000 pre-orders.
Wow.
And that was almost exclusively. He had about 3,000 to launch before. He did about 4,000 from his list. The other 18,000 were all from affiliates.
No kidding.
And so that's the power of, having affiliates to not only for a book, but for product launches. You can do challenges with affiliates like Pedro does. You can launch membership sites. I mean, you can launch a coaching program. Like there's nothing that people ask me, we play this game called Stump the Affiliate Guy, like name an industry that you can't have an affiliate program. And I said, anything with the government. That's about it. You cannot have an affiliate program if the government is involved. Outside of that, it's anything.
The government is already our 50% affiliate. They take half of everything we do.
No comment there. We won't go there. But the thing is, we're talking, it applies, it works for every price point. It works for every industry. I've worked with clients in, the personal growth, internet marketing, finance, insurance, lead generation, parenting. I mean, literally the list goes on, and health and fitness.
Dude, I got to say, I'm already learning things. I didn't know that. So can I go down a couple of these rabbit holes here?
Sure.
This is for me, but I think my audience will enjoy it too. So I did not know about you doing Jeff Goins' book launch. So tell me, how does that work with a book launch? Because, there really isn't a lot to share, right? I mean, you're talking about the price of a book versus, a product that's $1,500 or $2,000. So walk me through what that looks like and what is incentivizing the affiliates to do what they need to do.
Yeah. So the big thing is you got to have a back end offer.
Okay.
So with Jeff, it wasn't just buy the book. I mean, like you said, the book's $15, right?
Right.
I think with that, we did a free plus shipping. You don't have to do that. I think it was like $8, for shipping and handling.
Right.
You don't have to do that. In order to actually get affiliates to promote your book launch, you have to have that back end offer that's reasonably priced, so it's going to convert.
Okay.
But it's high enough that they're going to make a decent commission. And so with Jeff's, we had two offers. We had the first offer the affiliates made money on was the audiobook plus, it's been 6 years. I'm not sure. It was an audiobook plus something else for $47.
Okay.
And we gave affiliates a 50% commission on that. And then from there, they got offered his $197 course. And they got a 50% commission on that as well. And so every book sale, we actually converted, if I'm not mistaken, it was either 18 or 22. It was 2% on one side of 20. For the life of me, I can't remember, about 20. 1 out of 5 people who purchased the book, the average order size was just over $100.
Wow.
So that means that for every 5 books, they're making, $100.
Yeah.
They're making $50, because they're getting a 50% commission. So every book was worth $10 in commissions.
Right.
And the cool thing about promoting a book as an affiliate is it's a really low barrier to entry versus hey, go buy this $2,000 course. No. Yeah. We don't know each other that well, dude. Yeah. And so it's a really low barrier to entry that still makes commissions, and you don't have to send 100 emails to your list to be able to get them to promote. So you got to have the backdoor offer, the back end offer. Secondly, you want to drive traffic to an opt-in page. So you want to drive them to a page where you're collecting their email address first. Yeah. Okay. This is as the book launch person. And then from there, they enter their information to either buy the book if they're buying directly through you, or to enter their receipt number and things like that. Third, you got to pay a solid commission. I said before, 50%.
Yeah.
On those back end offers, it's not the place to be cheap. Yeah. Okay. And then lastly, we talked about cookies before, right? So we want to make our cookies long. What does that mean? Well, it's called cookie length. And so what happens is I refer somebody to your book, and maybe all they buy is your book. Well, I don't get a dime on that as the affiliate, but that cookie is set, right? And if that cookie expires in 90 days, which is pretty common practice, and they buy your course, your $2,000 course a year from now, I don't make anything.
Right.
I'm probably never going to promote anything of yours again. So if you make this a lifetime cookie, which means it lasts forever, all of a sudden a year from now, you do a big product launch and I make $5,000. I'm like, oh man, that's awesome. Hey, when's your next launch? What do you got coming up? When can I promote your next book?
Right.
And it allows people to get involved. Plus it's a selling point, in convincing people to promote your book, Rob.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, we've got a lifetime cookie. So you're going to make money for years to come by sending a couple of emails about a $15 book.
Love it. That's beautiful. So, when you talked about, Jeff telling his publisher, we're going to move 15,000 books or whatever the number was, my immediate thought was the challenge here is that you must be sending them right to buy links rather than into a funnel. So now I completely understand. Basically, Jeff's buying the books from his publisher and then using the funnel to, because we do the exact same thing with our free plus shipping, but I've never used affiliate traffic for my free plus shipping stuff. And I've probably moved 20,000 copies of my own publish, promote, profit there via paid advertising. But wow, so affiliates could work fantastic for that.
Our friend, I don't know if you know Carrie Oberbrunner.
I know of him. I don't know him well.
Well, he actually conceptualized what will be my second book's cover. Yeah. Because, he said that no matter what you're launching, whether it be a book, a product, a coaching practice, whatever, just think of affiliates as gasoline. Yeah. And when you get 20,000, that's amazing, just for the record. Like, as you know, less than 0.00000001% of all books will ever move that many, authors.
Our average card value is like $38. So same thing. I have a $47 first upsell, $297 second upsell.
Yeah, just adding gasoline to that fire. You have the fire. You've done a great job. You bring on affiliates and it just, it starts growing. And the cool thing about affiliates that most people don't understand is that it really is like a snowball. Yeah. You go out and get affiliates for your first book and maybe you get, 50 affiliates. Those 50, by promoting to audiences that you previously had no exposure to, will bring on between 25 and another 50 just because they did what they said they were going to do, which is promote you. So now you have, let's say, 75 for the next one. And then those 75 will bring on between 40 and 75. Now you have 115. Wow. And so it really does, it grows exponentially with no extra effort from you, which is like awesome.
Love it. Love it. I told you before when we were talking, I've done some affiliate stuff. I've promoted for people and that's gone very, very well. In the past, I had a couple of people promote for me and, I see the incredible value, honestly, of working with someone like yourself, because I got really turned off to the affiliate game a few years ago because I promoted for several people and promoted big for them. And in exchange, they were going to promote for me, and either A, several of them didn't, or B, they did, and it was like they had no list or they never really promoted me to their list. And I felt like, what, I'm not, even though it may cost me money not to do this, or even though I would rather just tell people one-on-one who to go to for certain, and I know my audience's needs aren't necessarily getting met that way, but it was such a bad taste in my mouth, dealing with people like that. I could totally see, obviously, when you're dealing with a professional like you, that, a lot of that stuff gets avoided. Can you maybe speak to that a little bit? Because there are probably people listening that have tried it before and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, your experience is not uncommon. And it's part of kind of the broken system, the tit for tat, kind of the good old boys network. Yeah. I say, I pardon the term, but it's a very incestuous industry. Yeah. And we, about 5 to 7 years ago, I started talking about this very openly, that I was predicting the shift. In fact, I was responsible for the genesis of the shift, back in 2015. We started this shift where we went away from that model to more of getting a lot of more small affiliates who weren't doing it because they think Rob's going to promote them. Right. They're not doing it because, they're doing it to some extent for the money, but, they're going to make 5, 10, 15, 20 sales. If we're talking a book, they're going to make 10, to 50 sales of a book. Yeah. On the high end. These are not the people who send one email and sell 600 of your books. Right. These are not the people that you go on one podcast and move 1,000 books. That's not who we're talking about. They're called small affiliates because they're small affiliates, right? And so we predicted this shift and we were saying, like, this is the future of the affiliate industry because of a few reasons. Number one, when you bring on these small affiliates, they don't expect anything in return other than just a fair commission. Yeah. They don't expect you to promote them. It's not that tit for tat, quid pro quo, thing. Number two, it diversifies your affiliate base. 3, it's usually, we were talking about with Pedro, it's usually your loyal students and people who know the product intimately. They have a story. Right. So they might have, I interviewed one of Pedro's affiliates. They had 700 people on their list, Rob, and made like 12 sales of a $2,000 product. Why? Because they had a story. Yeah. Well, what if they'd had 70,000 people but didn't have the story? You know how many sales they would have made? About 18. Yeah. Well, a whole 6 more. Instead, you've got evangelists for your product. Here's the other thing about the small affiliates is they grow. Okay. You take 100 small affiliates today. These are people who kind of feel like, and I feel this way all the time. Why am I wasting my time on these people? They're not even making any sales, or they're making like 2 whole sales. That guy sold 4 books and I spent, all this time nurturing that, relationship. Why am I doing this to myself? Because you take 100 small affiliates and you fast forward 3 years, and half of them will be about the same size, maybe twice as big, not that, big of a deal. About 20 or 30 of them will be 5 to 10 times bigger. And then about 5 or 10 of them will just drop off the face of the earth. They'll get out of business, okay? But you'll have 3 to 7 of them that will be 50, 100, 200 times bigger.
Wow.
They'll get on Oprah. They'll land, they'll get a TED Talk that goes viral, something like that, right? And you know who they remember? The person who gave them a chance, the person who paid them their first affiliate commission, and the person who nurtured that relationship. And I hear this all the time. It's like our bread and butter. You didn't treat us like we were nobody.
Yeah.
You treated us just like, what I think you would treat a big affiliate like. And so they remember that. And so that's why if you look at our launches that we run, book launches, product launches, doesn't matter. A lot of the people who are up there on these leaderboards now, Rob, are people who 4 years ago, 5 years ago, were nowhere to be found.
No kidding.
They made 1 sale,
wow.
2 sales. I'm thinking of one guy in particular. In the most recent thing we ran, he made 162 sales of a $2,000 product.
Wow.
2 years ago, he made 2 sales of that same product.
No way.
The number 1 affiliate in that launch. This is a $5.5 million product launch. One of the biggest internet marketing launches the entire year on the calendar. Number 1 affiliate, 180-ish sales. She made over $200,000 in commissions and prizes. Last year, she made 9.
No kidding.
9.
Wow.
And so that's the future. The number 3 affiliate made about 150 sales last year. She made 75. That's not as dramatic. All she did was double her sales.
Right.
4 years ago when she first promoted, she made 2. So that's what happens when you work with these small affiliates, is they grow and they remain loyal to you and they promote you time and time again. And so that experience that you had, while it's common, I think it's the old way of doing things, and there's a much better way of doing it. And it's building up kind of an army of people who aren't like, it's not the quid pro quo stuff, and they're just promoting you because they love you, and they want to share you and your, and your products with their audience.
Love it. When someone wants to do a book launch with you or some type of affiliate launch with you, talk me through what you do, what your company does, to manage that process for them. Just give me kind of the high level bullet points of that.
Yeah, I mean, number 1, we're finding affiliates for them.
Okay.
So we start with the low. Yeah, I mean, we start with our network. We have over 5,000 people, in our database that have promoted our clients in the past, and most of them have at least made a sale of a product that costs something. Yeah. So they might have promoted Jeff Goins and made a sale of his book 6 years ago. Well, they could be one of those people that's 100 times bigger now. Right. So from there, we actually go and we look for people who promoted similar books and product. Okay. So we go, there's this website, you probably heard of it, called Amazon.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, rings a bell, right? Also Google. Google's a good one, if you guys have heard of that one. But we go to Amazon and we look up. So we know if you released a book tomorrow, I'm looking at the book Scaling Up by Vern Harnish right now. Okay. It's on my desk here. What's a book that's similar to Scaling Up? We'll just say Rocket Fuel. By, let's say the Scaling Up was just launching. So that we didn't know necessarily, there's no like Amazon also suggests, right? But Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. I go to Rocket Fuel and I start going down the Amazon rabbit trail, right? And I find every book that I can that's similar. And then we go find, okay, what were the podcasts that person was on? Who promoted them? Who posted on their blog, about this book? From there, we work with the client on identifying who are the people that they know. So who have they had on their podcast? What podcasts have they been on? Yeah. And we help them reach out to them. And then from there, we bring the affiliates in. Our job from there is to motivate and engage those partners. Yeah. So if we have 300 or 1,000, which is kind of the range typically with us. Our job is it's one thing for somebody to say, yeah, I'll send an email about that book. And it's another thing to get them to actually send that one email, but then get to send them a second and a third and a fourth and sometimes a fifth, to show them the value of, yes, you mailed 2 weeks before the launch date for the pre-order, but what if you hit up your unopens 5 days later, and then again another 5 days, and send one final email the morning of the last day of the pre-orders, the last day where you can get all these bonuses. I mean, imagine the sales you can make, because nothing moves people like a deadline. Yeah. Imagine we educate the affiliates. We teach them about the best practices, what's going to work to actually move the needle. And then they see the momentum and it kind of takes over for itself. When they start seeing those sales pouring in, next thing you know, they send 6 emails instead of 1.
Yeah. Love it. We've been going a little bit of time here, and I think sharing really great stuff. What we didn't say, or we at least alluded to, was you are writing a book. Why does the affiliate guy with 5,000 relationships want a book? And what's the title of your upcoming book? And of course, you've already talked to me about promoting for it, so which we're glad to do. So, what's the title of it and what's the focus? Why are you doing that when you could just run a launch on any old product?
Yeah, and it's weird because the book we end up talking a lot about affiliates in it.
Yeah.
About getting affiliates and being an affiliate, but that's not what the initial title, it's not called, the Affiliate Effect, which will probably be my second book that Carrie named. It's called The Passion to Profit Path. And that is, speaking of, that might have been what said publisher was calling me about.
Yeah.
We might be changing the title. We're still working that out, but we'll figure that out over the next, 3 to 4 weeks. But it's all about taking people from this passion, this message, this idea that they have and turning it into a profitable business.
Nice.
The inspiration for this book was as we worked with clients and students, whether it was teaching them affiliate marketing, working with these 6 and 7 and 8-figure and sometimes 9-figure, businesses, we kept seeing businesses and business owners almost exclusively, the people we're working with fell into one of 2 extremes. We call them the 2 types of entrepreneurs. And then there's the third type that this bookish to try to get them to be. Type 1 is they're loving the fact that they're making money. They're making really good money. Their business is profitable. They might even be millionaires, right? Or, 100,000 heirs. And they're super happy with that side of their business, but they hate their work. They are just not passionate. And so every day just becomes this, this mundane, money-driven mess.
Right.
And they're tired. They're exhausted. The flip side, the complete opposite, as they're like I was. They're like, yeah, I'm waking up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm helping so many people. This is amazing. I cannot imagine doing anything else other than what I'm doing in life. I'm helping people. I'm having an impact on the world, but I'm not making any money.
Right.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're making great money. If you hate your work, that was entrepreneur type number 1. It doesn't matter if you love your work, but you're not making any money or actually losing money. Regardless of the extreme that you fall into, you end up giving up. You end up quitting. Eventually, you have to just quit. You're either going to burn out because you're not making money, or you're going to burn out because you're burnt out.
Right.
Either way, the world misses out on these folks' message. And so what we decided was there was a better way. There's entrepreneur type number 3, which is I'm building a business that I'm excited about. I'm passionate about. I wake up early in the morning. I go to bed late at night sometimes just because I forget that I'm even working.
Yeah.
Oh, and also it's making me some good money. And when you have both of those, you get to keep doing it. You can truly, I have every intention of doing what I'm doing until I don't have breath anymore, Rob, because I may not do it as much,
yeah.
but I have every intention. Why? Because I love what I'm doing and I'm making good money. And so it takes my story and other stories, our client stories, our student stories, and weaves them all together in a way that, shows a proven process, a 10-step process to go from, okay, this is my passion, this is my idea, this is my message, all the way down to step 10, which is about monetizing that message. And it's just a step-by-step sequential path.
Love it. Matt, love it. You're obviously passionate about what you do. I love watching you do the thing that you do.
Thank you, man.
You and I, of course, are going to have a call separate from this podcast to talk about doing some stuff for us as well. And if you're listening to this, then you want to get in touch with Matt as well if you're interested in using the affiliate gasoline to grow your business and grow your passion. So Matt, tell us, where can people find information about your book or about your next upcoming launch, or where would you like to send us?
Yeah, I'm going to violate every rule I'm literally going to violate the rule that I give in the book, which is give one call to action. So if you want to check out the book and get a free sample chapter, I think you'll like the sample chapter because it's all about consistently creating content.
Good.
It's step 10. Just go to passiontoprofitpath.com and you can grab that. If you want to find affiliates, you were you know what, I'm down with this, Matt. I'm ready to add some affiliates to my programs, my books, my book launch, whatever it is. I'll show you how to find your first 100. Just go to mattmcwilliams.com/first 100. That's FIRST 100.
Okay.
And if you're I want to try to figure out this affiliate marketing thing, make a little extra money, just grab my quick start guide at mattmcwilliams.com/quick start. And I'll show you how to get started. None of those last two are not the how do you build a 7-figure business. That's like, how do you get some affiliates and make $50,000? How do you make your first $1,000 in affiliate marketing? So if you're super advanced, shoot me an email. You can find it online. Shoot me an email. We need to talk.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I look forward to talking to you a little bit more, Matt. And thanks so much. Great job today. Thanks for being on the podcast, and really look forward to your upcoming book and seeing that explode.
Thanks, brother.